think right now the chances of the House turning over are really, really high, better than 50 per 50, probably close to 60%. The Senate is probably a little bit less, 25, 30, 35% of the Senate flipping. The thing is, this is turning out to be a much more interesting midterm election than we expected. If you had asked me 5 years ago, what are the chances of Republicans losing their majority in the House this decade? And I would have said, and most people that follow the House closely would say, probably not, given where the district lines are, given population patterns, pretty unlikely. But, here we are. It's looking slightly more likely than not. And even 2 years ago today, would have said, well, Hillary Clinton will probably win the presidency, and given midterm election patterns and given where the Senate race states are, we'd probably be talking about could Republicans pick up 4, 5, 6 Senate seats? How close could they get to a supermajority? And that's obviously not what we're talking about right now. First of all, President Trump, we know that midterm elections are generally a referenda on the incumbent president. And President Trump's numbers have been extremely stable. Going back to beginning of the summer, his numbers have fluctuated very, very, very little. And the intensity of you look at the strong disapprovals versus the strong approvals, the intensity has been pretty close to 2-to-1, strong disapproval to strong approval, and that's pretty steady. Sure, there could be a black swan event that some seismic event that changes everything, or if the economy remains strong and Republicans and President Trump start getting some credit for it, could that change things some? Yes, but it would require change occurring because right now they're not getting much credit for that, and there's some reason to believe that there's just such a visceral dislike for the president among half of Americans that there would be a real resistance to coming his way, even if the economy remains strong. As long as I've been doing this, there's always been a slight tilt in the generic ballot test in favor of Democrats, that the default setting would be Democrats up 3, 4, 5 points. And the generic translates to the House national popular vote. That number's gotten actually a little bit bigger in recent years as the population becomes, with congressional district boundaries and with Democratic voters so heavily concentrated. But it is a pretty good yardstick, and I would say be careful about cherry picking. Watch the averages. Go on the either Real Clear Politics or 538 and watch the averages, and be careful of outliers. But the thing is, the generic isn't the only thing. And for example, the generic has tightened up a little bit, so now it's about 6 points more or less up for Democrats. But we're seeing a lot more polling data in individual states and races in the last month that is actually painting a picture that was even worse for Republicans than we thought 2-3 months ago. So the generic is a thing to look at, but it's not the only thing to look at. But it tends to be a pretty fair indication of which way is the wind blowing, and is it sort of light, medium, or heavy. But it's not terribly precise.